Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. I don't know how this is going to go today. I stop the music or what?
Raise my eyes to the wild blue yonder. The cane believe.
All right, people. I don't know how this is going to go. I have serious things going on around me right now. So many things. I can't tell you who I can blame right now. Just so many different things. But my show is starting today for the first time. I had to open it. I had a different show going for 7 years. Specifically UFO show, but this is going to be about everything. Truth only. My motto is truth only. I'm accountable to God only. So anything here, anything I say, I put my life on the line with everything that I say and do on this show. All right. What I experience, what I'm going through, what I deal with, what I have dealt with. And I'm going to tell you this, 99% of everything you hear is probably 99% a lie, not even close to the truth. We have so many different things going on that we're being lied to right now. And Mr. Rumpo is actually giving us so many more lies to make us think the opposite of what's really important. Right now, people, the only thing that's important is exposing every single thing about the Epstein file. All right, I'm going to. All right. Now, they said Epstein committed suicide. He was on suicide watch. When a person's on suicide watch, they usually keep a camera on them, and they usually keep somebody that's alive and well watching them as well. Now, supposedly God fell asleep. Nothing was ever done to him either. But the second thing is, he supposedly committed suicide. I would declare an autopsy on him. Let's pull his body out, see how he really died. They can't tell what time he died now. I'm sure it's way too late to determine that, if they even have the real body. How about we pull up the real body and make sure it's his real body? All right, check his DNA, check him, and have multiple people test it. And then we'll see how he really died. What happened to his neck, and what did they come up with any proof other than, oh, he was laying in and there was a rope around his neck, a sheet? Really? He's a person who is very evil, all right, on top of everything else, perverted, twisted, but he was able to take out hundreds of people. And if he was thinking about dying, he would realize he would do the right thing, which is confess and tell all those people's names and get them all taken out with him. He wouldn't commit suicide protecting those people. All right, that's the most ridiculous idea to believe it. All right, and even when Kennedy died, they had a different coffin with Kennedy, it shifted a different way. Everything about that was a lie too, even how he was killed. All right, I can tell you, I saw a video of him being shot from the front of the car. All right, there's so many things that are lies, and you want to believe them, want to accept them, you want to listen to somebody you assume is a good person. There's no good people here. We're in hell. This is as bad as it's going to get for your unfoldment. All right, and if you don't unfold, you're not going to ever get out of here either. So all the lies you've been told, all the religions you follow are giving you small snippets of truth. They do not know what Jesus was teaching, for one. If you read Revelations, you should, if you're a Christian, read it 3 times in a row. You're going to see what John wrote about sins, what sins can't be forgiven, all right, and what he said is going to be happening near the end times. We're getting close to it. And now that Mr. Putin said that if the United States tries to take Greenland, there'll be a nuclear war. And he said the planet could be destroyed. He already told this to Trump, 2 weeks ago? But on the other hand, we have lots of nuclear bombs, different kinds of nuclear bombs. Proton bomb, neutron bomb, electron bomb. All right? Now, they do different things. You could blow up a city and destroy all the buildings, or you could blow up a city and just kill all the people. And if you're trying to take over, like China would take over the United States, would they want to blow up all the buildings? No, keep them. If we tried to destroy China, why destroy the buildings? Let's just destroy the people in it. There's multiple things that are not ever even talked about. I can tell you, I can go into the details, but not right this second. Why that's all lies. When a war happens, when they tell you how many people died, they don't tell you how many really died. They don't tell you about things like Vietnam. Our kids, 17 and 18, were going in, killing kids 14 years old. And that was a war that we supported. For what reason? Now, let's go back to World War One and World War Two. Who was fighting who? All right. When we talk about war and we're friends with people, we're friends with Japan now, what they did to Hawaii, I mean, what they did to our ships here at that time, you know, we live in fantasy, we live in ideas that we want everything nice. Well, let me reword it again. You are in hell. All right. That's not going to change. All right. You're going to be here until you leave. And when you leave, wherever you're going, do you have a clue? Do you have any idea other than what you were told? All right. And then where you go after that, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think's happening to this world? What do you think people want to come back to this world for? Which most people do. It's called attachment. All right. Lust, greed, anger, vanity, attachment. I call it drugs, drinking, smoking, partying, cheap thrills, cheap sex. All right. Sex and money is the root to this planet. It wasn't when it was created. And it was created a long time ago, and that was Atlantis. But I'm not going to go into that because I know you're not even ready for the truth at any point, especially past history, which is all lies. Now, do the United States white people talk about the truth of what they did to the native people? No, they don't and never did. They don't even mention them on TV. They don't tell you what's happening. All right. I danced all over the United States for 35 years. I sat with many elders, I was with Thomas Binyaka, the oldest Hopi elder. All right. He's dead now, too. But the truth is there, people. And we should be worried what's going down and what's going to happen. All right. But the only way to stop all this is to expose everything about the Epstein files. Now, I know in court they're saying, how come Maxwell was moved to a nice prison? Oh, after she said she wouldn't mention Trump, she was moved to a nice prison. She wasn't released. I'm sure Trump's afraid if she gets out publicly, she could do a lot more damage. As long as she's in jail, he has full control over her. But if he keeps her happy in there, it's better off than making her angry. But that's just one little thing. Getting back to Epstein. Where is his body? How about we pull it out of the ground and check it out, see how he really died, and see if it's really him, whatever body, whatever they're claiming. All right. Now, we deal with all the people he was involved with. Even Gates came out and said he was a fool. You know, when people, multimillionaires, confess to being bad, like the prince pulled out, didn't he? He had to resign, take his name off of the list as being a prince, and he lost everything. Why? Because of the Epstein files. And nobody gets into that. Let's go into more details. Trump and Musk were good friends with Hugh Hefner. Pull this file up. Oh, Hefner's dead now, so we can't get any truth from him. Hold on one second.
Just hand it to me. All I have to say is, all of a sudden my nose is burning so bad.
Hold on one second. Sorry, people. We got trouble in Hawaii, whether you want to hear it or not. The volcano's going off. It's making everybody sick. They're not going to tell tourists because that's the only way they make money. All right, the tourists come in on boats and planes. But in the interim, the volcano's putting this, they call it Pele's hair. It's crystals that come from the crystals that come out of the volcano. It's super toxic. You might have heard of angel hair. It's very similar. Cuts, burns, and it goes into your lungs. It could make you deathly sick. Who knows? You're close to it. It could probably kill you in time if you keep inhaling it. It came all over the streets, the cars. It was everywhere, falling from the sky. It's just one little thing. The pollution, the chemicals that come out of the volcano are just as toxic. So that's just one little thing. But I'm in a UFO world. There's so much stuff going on. I just gave a long video, 8 minutes, to the Channel 4 TV channel. They're playing games. They said, oh, we'll get to it. Oh, it's really cool. We're going to do something with it. But they were checking with the government. They were checking with the Air Force. They were checking with the Army. They were checking every which way, how many people called in about it. It was 5:45 in the morning when I filmed it. But it was a real UFO doing some really outrageous, strange things. It wasn't a tic-tac. Like I said, I film UFOs with a person. We filmed more actual photographs of ships from 1996 to 2002. We were showing them publicly. We did the show with Kerry Cassidy for 9 months. We showed 5 new ships every week that we actually shot that were not AI. Right, 96 AI wasn't as popular as it is today. All right. And we didn't make fake things ever. We never put fake things up on the air. So yeah, what I'm saying is truth. I'm going to stick with the main topic for right now, and that's Epstein. All right. Again, put yourself. All right. He didn't consider himself evil. He had a sickness that he had to have sex 4 times a day. And it was her job to get all these girls for him every day. But then when you find out the facts, who Trump was working with, who Epstein was working with, I can't even say his name, were bringing the girls in from other countries into New York City. All right, that's how they brought Trump's wife in. And he met her through Epstein. All those things, all the lies you don't want to hear. Why she came into the United States. She came in as a model on a temporary visa or whatever you want to call it. So she became a citizen how many years ago and things like that. But she's a foreigner. All right. I don't want to get into her story right now. This is more about Epstein himself. He was friends with everybody. Getting back to Hugh Hefner was friends with Trump. I call it a relationship. Well, Trump was thrown out of the Playboy Club. Imagine that. Do you know how bad the Playboy Club was and what was really going down in there? There was a special about maybe 9 months ago. I don't even know how many months ago. I think it was 6 women that worked in the Playboy Club. And their speech and what they said was they had to do what these rich people told them to do. Their families were threatened. Their life was threatened. And they did what they were told to do. So when Trump went in there, for him to get thrown out of there, what could he possibly do to get thrown out of the Playboy Club? Then Epstein, who knows what was going on. But Musk was in and out of things, so I don't know much about him. But I do know Trump was told by Hefner, you're no longer a friend. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I'm sorry, I put you on the cover of Playboy magazine. All right. That had to be really bad. I mean, Hefner was doing bad things. So imagine how worse that would have been or had to be. All right. So all these people involved, and I keep telling the Democrats, you're trying to grab money. I mean, Musk gives money to Trump, but we need money. We got to grab it from the poor people, meaning us. So, but I said, put a thing out there telling all the people that were abused by Epstein to come out. We'll give you money and we'll protect you. If you want to bring the truth out, that's one way to go. in any cop story, you always see, well, we'll give you protection. Just tell the truth. Just be a witness. All these people. Sexual abuse is the most obscene thing on this planet. And it's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. But here's the thing, people. Most people are paid off. I can tell you a horrible story directly related to my situation. I'm not going to say names, but it involved a top doctor that raped 3 of his patients and filmed it. And he ended up in court settling with them, giving them each $25,000 a month. Put it this way, if you're raped, what do you get if you confess and get this guy put in jail? Nothing. But if a guy's going to give you $25,000 a month, maybe you might not say anything. But Mr. Musk gave people millions of dollars to vote for what? Trump? Never mind, 360,000 here, 200,000 here, million, sorry, of money to Mr. Trump. And then let's go back a little bit when they had a fight. Trump was mad at Musk. Musk was mad at Trump. Musk said, I'm going to get you exposed with the Epstein files. A week later, they were friends again. But guess what? If he would expose Trump, he would expose himself again as well. People, do you want the truth? I mean, you listen to the court cases. They're fighting all day long. I've been listening to hours and hours the past couple of days, all these court cases going on about that. And who should confess? Well, they released 3 million files. 3 million. 3 million files. And there's 3 million more. And well, they said Trump was mentioned more times in the Epstein files than Jesus in the Bible, which is obvious because he's out there for promotion. He's on every day, on every channel, putting out bad things, saying bad things, and he's your president. He's not mine. He's a man that controls the planet right now. Well, thinks he can and is really trying to. He wants all the gas around the planet so he can stop everybody from doing anything. But Putin's not going to let that happen. Putin said there'll be a war. There'll be a nuclear war if we try to take Greenland. Well, what's Trump do? Oh, we're going to have a peaceful greetings and work out with Greenland. So what's he do? He puts all his boats around Greenland yesterday. All his battleships are around there right now. All right. What do you think Putin's thinking? All right. The truth is, how much of it do you want to believe? Because, one person say, well, it's good, this is good. Nothing good is happening. Trump is not going to allow anything good to happen. All right. Now, why is that? Well, the Epstein files will determine and tell you all these high people involved with it. I mean, they're bringing Clinton and everybody else into the picture as well. But you remember way back when Hillary was talking about things and stuff, and she said some good things, like she wanted to free Tibet to free 15,000 slaves that they created and took in from Tibet, and all these things. But all those stories about child sales and all those words that went down, and nothing was ever done about any of that. Now, this is the most scariest part of everything I'm going to be telling you. My life's always on the line, people. I don't care. I know I'm going when I die, and I don't care because it's better than here. Every which way. And I'm not coming back. All right. And if you kill somebody, don't think you can get out of here and stay up in heaven and all those kind of words. No, it's not going to happen. Read Revelations. All right. Now, this is the dangerous part. I told you, I've been in the UFO world all my life. I got more involved with lecturing and stuff, but I was working with women that were abducted, losing their children. All those kind of things are real. All right. But when I got involved with a friend, we were filming UFOs. We went out 4 hours every other night for a couple years. And we had more pictures of UFOs and creatures and entities and all kinds of weird stuff. All right. But near the end, we had a big fight over a psychic friend of mine who actually prophesied 9/11. And when that happened, our friendship ended. He copyrighted all our stuff, all the pictures we shot. I'm still in a debate whether it's worth my time trying to get the copyrights taken away or if they're really there and all that. But there's thousands of pictures, and I don't think he had the money to do that. But what we did, we showed it. We showed it every month. But at the same time, there was a person, John Ford, Ford. He shot the best video ever taken of a UFO crash on Long Island. I went out there. I saw where the ship went down. It chopped out all these trees. It did a lot. But the government tried burning the whole area down. But the trees are still there, notched out, burnt, but they're still there, and all kinds of things. But in the interim, he's in that house since 1996. They're saying he's insane. And on public TV, I lived in Jersey, New York and New Jersey, on the news, we arrested a man with a barrel of uranium, and he was going to put it and lace it in toothpaste and kill Congress and people in government. Really, I'm going to walk around with uranium and put it in their toothpaste and think everything's okay. The most delusional story, and that's how it went down. He was arrested. They couldn't put him in jail because, okay, this is the other part. He shot the video of that ship crash. I saw it. He made 4 copies, sent them around the world to different places, and those people have it, and they only can release him if he dies. So guess what? The government won't take him out like Maxwell and other people because then it would be released. But realize that was filmed the year before 1996 because that's when it all happened. All right? And they don't want that to happen. Now, here's the word that you should be aware of, which you type, go into AI, go into any of these sites, ask them what MJ12 means. Oh, it's a theory, conspiracy theory. No, it's fact. Eisenhower created it. When I was born, 1952, fleets of UFOs went over the White House twice in a week. Thousands of people saw it. And he said, we have to be prepared for whatever that means. He created MJ12. MJ12 will protect every file about UFOs in the United States. By protecting means not releasing it. I'm not going to go into the details how much they work with aliens. Aliens were in the White House. One alien was. I'm not going to go into all that. But we have been dealing with aliens. They trade. Nobody does anything for nothing. When we take over a country, we get involved with a country, we want it for a reason. Why do you think Trump wants Greenland? Because of ice and snow? Think about it, people. What do you believe? Where is your consciousness focused on? What do you expect to happen in reality? All good things to happen? Jesus is going to save the world? From what? I don't say I'm spiritual. 95 to 98 people are pathetic as far as being spiritual. They can say it, I'm spiritual, I'm a high level, and all that baloney. And what are they going to teach you? I'm spiritual now. I can vibrate at whatever number they say they think is spiritual. I mean, there's a healing vibration. Sounds do vibrate, do things. But they don't change things greatly. I mean, take Tibet. One of the most so-called, for me, I don't even like the word spiritual, but to give them a religious, they don't like the word religion either. But for being spiritual, they do meditation all day long, 7 days a week. They do more vibrating of a planet than anybody else on this planet as a country. So while that was going on, China said, we're going to take over Tibet. They went into the Tibet and did a number. But Tibet was begging the United States, Canada, all different countries to get help. Nobody would give them help. You know why? Tibet had no money, oil, or anything to give back to the United States. So why would we going to help them? Like leprosy. They had the cure for leprosy, and it's still bad today on certain islands. But nobody's going to pay to put it there to cure these people. See, man does something, whatever it is, wants something in return, which is common for most people. All right? You always want something back. If I give you something, I want something back. Now, when they said the word for Native people, Indian given, it's not like they take things back. That's not what Indian given means. In the Indian nation, Indian given means when you get a gift, you try to give a gift better than that back to the person. That's Indian given, not taking back. So, even when they created the word peace, peace pipe, it's not a peace pipe. It was never a peace pipe. When they smoked the peace pipe, it wasn't about peace ever. It was a prayer pipe, meaning praying. All right, not that praying helps anything, because it never helped the Native people. 50 million Native people were here, and now there's less than 1 million true Native people. So guess what? Prayer doesn't help. It never helped anybody. It didn't help the Christians at all, did it? Really? Why had a miracle? A miracle is something that happens by coincidence, accident, whatever word you want to use. But you can't create a miracle every day in your life and everything you do. You're not protected like people think they are. So, getting back to Musk, he's in his prison cell knowing he's in serious trouble. What is he going to do? Expose all these people? The worst that could happen is they're going to try to kill him, right? Which they did. He can't release all those names, and now the other half, well, she wants to, but she can't. Trump's not going to let her out. I guess she originally thought if she named a bunch of names, he would let her out, but that's not going to happen. All right. Maxwell is a very evil woman as well. So they take her out of a bad prison and put her in a nice one. And if you know anything about prisons, some are nice and some are extremely bad and horrible. But again, people, why do we have prisons the way we do? Because it makes the government money. They get paid anywhere from $80,000 to $150,000 per person that stays in jail for a year. I'm not lying about that. Well, clean clothes, air conditioning, food, and blah, blah, blah. Put it all together. How much does that add up? Less than what? Not that kind of money. All right. So they keep the prisons full for a reason. That's why they had to arrest people with marijuana smoking and simple little things. They need these people in jail. Even though they don't belong there, there's no reason for them to be there, and it's completely against the Constitution. All right. If you grow a plant in your yard and you're arrested for smoking it, really? By what law? What constitutional law? Now, before we go back to Epstein, let's go back to the Constitution. That was here before he was. The Constitution was created by a few people. Jefferson wasn't president at the time. Jefferson was going across southern United States, killing every native tribe he could. All right. George Washington was given the order to kill every other tribe. He'd give the order to let one tribe survive, and then he'd give the order to kill another tribe. All right. And they killed 50 million native people during the years that went by. But again, the Constitution now being created by rich people control the world, rich people control a city, rich people control a state. Now, why? They don't want poor people to be overpowering them ever. They want to be able to tell the poor people what they can do and what they can't do. All right. Now, that's why the electoral vote was created. Second of all, in that time frame, when it was created, poor people weren't allowed to vote. Women weren't allowed to vote. Black people weren't allowed to vote. So guess what? People were voting. What, the white people and the Spanish? Why did Spanish become the second language in the United States? All right. Now you go to Puerto Rico, they don't even want to speak English. All right. So when the Constitution was being created, the laws are there for a reason then. Let's go into the gun law. You know why there was a gun law? Because people, and this is no lie, people, you can believe it or not, were paid to kill Native people. They got more money for an adult man, they got a little less money for a woman, and they got money for a child. And how did they prove to the government that they killed a person? The white people were scalping the Native people. The Native people weren't scalping the white people. Native people were taking fingers. They weren't taking a scalp. So every movie you saw, they're scalping them and all these baloney lies. They're all lies, people. All right. Now, Geronimo rode with 9 people, 1 woman, taking out cavalry after cavalry. All right. He was kind of like a Superman in that time frame because he was aware of how to fight. I mean, when you see cavalry and war, they both line up and walk towards each other and start shooting each other. Most ridiculous way. All standing with the swords and just attack each other. Why is it we take out the poor little people, like people that go to war, children? You only have to take out the leader. And why they don't fight with the leader? We had Putin in the United States. We could have just taken him out. We protect the evil people. We protect the most evil people, while the most innocent people could go to jail for life. Why is that? If you follow the truth, you should, because it's all lies. How do you find out the truth's a lie? By doing research about wars and time and age and all those kind of things. I can't join the army now. I couldn't join the army when I was 35. I wanted to go back in. I wanted to go in. All right. My brother was in. My father was in. My grandfather was in. Grandfather was in World War I. My father was in World War II. My brother was in during Vietnam. And I wanted to go in because I had problems with family and all that stuff. But they didn't want me. And we had a lottery at that time. My number was like 360. And they only were taking people from 1 to 50 into the war. So the games they play, and then like you listen to some people talk, like Jesse Ventura, one of the most important people exposing more things than anybody else in the United States. He did a TV show for 2.5 years, well, 2 years and a couple months. They finally pulled his show off because he exposed HAARP system, HAARP. He exposed FEMA camps. You know what a FEMA camp is? And they're real. He exposed, all right, and this is something nobody talks about, the New World Order. Denver Airport is basically the home airport base for the New World Order. It set it in steel in the floor for 2 years. They ripped it out and put a fountain over it. If you know facts, which you should look up and find out, U.S. New World Order, they believe they have to tell the public what they do before they do it. That's a little bit of a kind of a nice gesture. But when they did it in the flooring, it said U.S. Air Force New World Order. Bye. It meant a lot because they had murals on the wall of 4 different races. Chinese, black, red, yellow. I mean, they had the symbols around the person in the coffin. Giant murals, 4 of them in the main walkway of the airport. And there's one that was there the last time I went, of a guy with a mask on, a machete, and a gun and everything. And all these women running in the field, bombs blowing up, and they're running with their babies and stuff. Perverted stuff. Well, I'm not going to go into all the details. A book came out, Behold the Pale Horse, explained a lot of what was supposedly because they got a horse out there with blue eyes that has real roof because it changes if they open it up as a base for UFOs and ships. Well, I'm sorry I put everything together. The United States just completed building the most expensive spaceship ever. It cost $44 billion, and it has a lot of the weapons Tesla created. Tesla, and I know it for a fact, I put my life dead on mine, he created 50 deadly weapons that he gave to the United States. The number 1 dangerous weapon on the planet is the HAARP system, HAARP. And it's real. One's here in Hawaii, on this island. One's on the other island. One's up in Alaska. There's another one. I'm bad with names. There's another one in the United States, but now China, Russia is trying to copy it. But it has to do with chemtrails. They need the chemtrails in the sky to blast the frequency. When you see an aurora over the ocean, like a couple months ago, it was over. Everybody saw it all over the United States. That's because they turned the HARP system on and blast the water, blast something, right? Everything's dangerous. It's a dangerous radioactive field. When you see a beautiful rainbow, it's toxic. All right. Oh, isn't that beautiful? People are limited to truth, limited to an understanding of reality. They live in a programmed world. Now, I started doing hypnosis when I was 14. I learned how to do it when I was 12 from one of the most famous hypnotists in the United States, Kreskin. All right. So by 14, I hypnotized all my friends in the neighborhood. I had them all under a spell. I can make them do anything I want. Now, the lie to hypnosis, which if you study and try to get a license and a degree, will say you cannot make anybody do anything they don't want to do. All right. Now, if you go to school, colleges, which I was going to do when I was at when I was a little bit older, I was going to be a hypnotist in colleges. But they tell people to do stupid things on stage and everything else. But the reason, there's a lot of reasons why some people that aren't hypnotized go along with it. And then again, you got people that are really hypnotized. When I hypnotize people, I prove to people, including my own brother, oh, that's all fake. You want to see a real situation? They would do anything I told them to do, including kill somebody. Now, don't think the government didn't know this. My Kreskin actually said to me, Hitler controlled the country by the power of suggestion. Power of suggestions mean hypnosis in a secondary word. Meaning, if I tell you something over and over and you accept it, you'll do it. Now, the person that killed Kennedy, the person that killed Oswald, were out of the same rehab. Same person that killed John Lennon was out of the same rehab in California a year before. That's a little something you should search out. But you're going to have a hard time finding any proof of that now. It's getting so far past trying to find out records of the truth. We still can find out about Epstein. Let's pull his body out and analyze it. See how he really died. See if there's any of the bruises on his body, any of the broken bones, or anything else going on wrong in his body. What kind of fluid was in his body, what did they feed him, and every other word. All right. What I would say, the things that people need to do if you're trying to prove somebody's guilty or innocent, a lie detector works maybe 70%. I mean, people can beat it as well. Then there's another word called truth serum. There's 3 kinds of truth serum. If one doesn't work, try the second one. That one doesn't work, give them the third one. Then if that doesn't work, we do have psychics that are pretty accurate about a lot of things. Get 6 psychics to analyze this person. If they can pass all that, they're not guilty. And I'll tell you straight out. But they won't. If they are guilty, they will never make it to the reaching the psychics. All right. Once a person knows, I was a high priest at 16. I had a lot of psychic abilities, which I proved every day. And I finally asked them to be, I didn't ask to take them away. I just stopped. I said, they cannot be used in this world right now, or it'll destroy the world. If you were psychic and could read 1 minute into the future, you can go into any casino and walk out with every penny that they have in that casino. All right, which doesn't happen. All right, now, a friend of mine, I'm going to say his name because he's dead, Sean David Morton. I was close to him. I could have been a lot closer, but I lived in Jersey and he lived in California. I was his bodyguard when he came into New York, and he stayed at my house sometimes. But he was always with women and talking and stuff like that. But when he did a lecture, I was always there with him. But his truth, he came out and did a speech about 9/11, exactly 1 year before it happened. He says, on this day, there's going to be 3 attacks, and he explained how all 3 parts were going to happen. All right, how would he know that? I'm saying maybe he did work with the government. I mean, he would never tell me that. And how it was all planned. They did say other countries are going to release dollar bills with demons on it and all kinds of other stuff is supposed to happen. But that was in 97, 98. All right. But people, I mean, when I got involved with all that, when I first was dealing with him being his bodyguard and all those kind of things, he was arrested for 150 criminal charges. He was a sovereign citizen. A sovereign citizen in court cannot have a lawyer and cannot speak. So they said we got 150 charges against him. Not one shred of proof on any one of the charges. Not one witness. And he was put in jail for a couple of years. Now, he was still doing his show from jail. But basically, they started torturing him. They put him in solitary for 6 months, which is totally against the law. They actually, I'm not going to go into all the bad things after that. But they tried pulling his teeth out. They tried blinding him because he was trying to write letters to get out of jail. And then finally, he was dying. He had cancer from his throat down into his lower stomach, and they had to let him go. He didn't live much longer. He had to go he tried every treatment, dragon's blood, and you name all the weird things they came out with, but he died. But again, he was innocent of all the charges they were putting against him. So I'm just trying to tell you how government works. I didn't want to put all this together, but to try to show you a full picture. I was in the UFO world since I was 6 years old. I'm not going to go into all that part of it, but I will tell you this. When I started lecturing with a person, his name was, I don't know if I should say it or not. I'm not going to say it. But he was the rising star of becoming a top UFO person. Because we shot more pictures of UFOs and entities and creatures and all that. We created the word orbs in New York City in front of a couple hundred people. I shot the pictures while he talked, and then we showed all the pictures during it. But now all the lies about that are out there in Jersey. Oh, they're tracing drones. Oh no, they're not ships. They have to be drones. And all the stories that they're doing right now about these orbs, ORBS. All right, it's all BS is right now because they're dealing with entities. Aliens can take any kind of form, but we don't want to get into all that. I'm going to stick with Epstein. He was probably an alien. Who knows what he was? But again, during the time he was alive, and they were doing all these things with children. All the people coming out now, it shouldn't be going to court. Well, because Trump's going to probably try to fire everybody he can. He'll probably end up having to just removing every judge in the United States to protect himself. He's going to have to remove, guess what? Republicans. Because they're saying he can't be doing some of the things he shouldn't be doing right now. And what he did with women and children is obscene. What Hugh Hefner got away with it. But like all the rich people have money. Now, for Musk to pay off a person to vote for Trump, how does anybody know he didn't pay off the people that counted the votes? I say they should check every file of these people that were counting votes, check their personal file, their bank accounts, and check their family accounts because they probably might put it into their son's account or somebody else's account because they didn't want it sticking out right on their file. But how do they know? Trump says everything's fixed and stuff. Mankind doesn't do anything for people, poor people or middle-class people. So I don't even think that's a real reason why they do anything. But, you know, they contradict what they do. You're not allowed to commit suicide. Why? But they want people to live forever? Well, every medicine, I don't want to get into medicine. They'll take the show right down. But think about it, what they say on a commercial for any medicine they put out there. What it can cause. What it's supposed to heal and what it could cause. You know, symptoms that things can cause are worse than what you're trying to treat it for. We're in such a bad place as far as truth, lies, and everything else. Now, I know I don't have a lot of people watching it today. I might get people tonight. I'm going to keep putting it on the internet for a couple of days until everybody at least sees that it was up there. My co-host that I was doing my show with, she's becoming famous. She's becoming really famous in the UFO world as being an abductee, which goes against the UFO word, experiencer. But we did a show for almost 7 years. But now she's becoming famous. She's with all those UFO people from Ancient Aliens and you name it. She didn't even get back to me once. It's pretty sad. Not one word. Not one word. And I begged her, what's happening? How is she? What's going on? Couldn't even reply to me. After all the time I spent with her, I made her buy a Geiger counter. And she could prove she's radioactive. All these little things, people. People don't respect anybody. You think a pope, a priest, a minister, a rabbi respects people? I'm not even going. There are going to be specific topics I'm going to go into. I'm going to be hated more and more every time I do a show. More people are going to hate me. Government might say, "Hey, take him out." They didn't take me out for a long time. You know why? And here's my reason. Everybody I talk to gets taken out. I lost 16 friends in the UFO world. A couple main speakers. I lost my best friend and his whole family. He worked for NASA. All right. But again, they're taking out. The word suicide is always there. The second most important UFO story was Phil Snyder. And they said he committed suicide. He wrapped himself up in barbed wire and died. No blood. Really impossible. All right. And if you look at what his story, what happened to him is impossible to happen on this planet with our technology at that time. People, you're going to hear lies, everything about this Epstein file. I'm not saying these people come out. I'll bring up a quick story like Bill Cosby. All these women came out later. Why? Once one lady came out, 2 ladies came out, then more people that were involved came out because then they would know that they were going to be taken out real easy. We're in a sad place, people. And I want you to realize you need to do the research. You need to do the searching. All right? Don't accept everything you read because 90% of it's a lie, twisted. The Democrats are saying stuff. The Republicans are saying stuff. But they repeat the same things. How about what's really happening? All right? Things I'm going to get into, which you need to know. The New World Order.
Hi, please. You have 2 medicine.
Hold on 1 second. Give me a break. Sorry, people. I got so many things going on at the same time. I'm surprised I'm still alive. But I know I'm protected in a lot of different ways. I could go on about that, but that's another day that I'm going to talk about. But like I said, I'm going to talk about the New World Order, the home base that's in the Ozarks. Talk about people that expose more things than anybody else, and that's Jesse Ventura. Some of his shows were left up, but most of them were taken down. He exposed the most dangerous things going on the planet. All right. He even said he'd run for president if he could have the right vice president with him. But he doesn't even want to live in the United States. He wants to live in Mexico to stay protected. Because every time he gets on a plane, they do all kinds of things to him because he's got metal inside his body. But he's a man that I give credit for putting his life on the line all the time. Every week he came out with exposing things that should be exposed. He went to the New World Order home base. He went to the FEMA camps. He went where they brought all these guillotines and coffins in for whatever their plan was at the time. People, I've been in this all my life, And it all ties together. I mean, aliens aren't separate. The government's not separate. Religion's not separate. Each works in their own way for specific reasons, but they tie together. Who do you think took over the world when Jesus was alive? The Romans. And who were the Romans? The Jewish people, right? Again, why do you kill a spiritual person? And there's very few real spiritual people. Everybody claims to be, even in the UFO world. But again, I'll tell you how spiritual I am on a special show. I'm going to go into that more than one show, because my rise in my spiritual quest was a long journey, hard. I had 5 death experiences, suicide, you name it. But I made it to the point where I understand more than I'd say 99.9% of this planet about God, death, reincarnation, and no reincarnation, meaning not coming back. The lower gods, which were called deities, the angels, their purpose. I mean, everybody takes what they want and puts it in the mold to fit where they want it to be. You really think God cares about what we do on this planet? I mean, if I'm going to create a person, I'm going to create him with a pure soul, not the demon, the dark side, and all the other things. But soul had to reform itself, and that's the main reason why soul came to this planet. Epstein was a long way from that. A lot of these people weren't looking towards God for anything. I mean, you could be bad and ask for forgiveness and think you're protected. I'm going to do a show about each one of these things in greater detail. I'm just trying to give you an overall, what you're going to hear on my show for the next 6 months, unless I disappear. Now, I'm saying it, my first show, I will never commit suicide. All right? Oh, well, he committed suicide. He's that kind of person. He was this, that, and that. Look, I use this as my phrase. I'm crazy going sane. Most people are sane going crazy. Big difference. My goal is only God, nothing else. Your goal is family, house, cars, boats, ships, planes, children, all that. I'm only here for a few reasons. 2 things, my dog and my person I'm taking care of right now. The only reason why I want to stay here. Sex, drugs, and all that aren't in my world. I'm 73. I didn't want to live past 50. I lost a lot of myself. I mean, I'm still okay, but I don't want what's happening to this planet to be my reality. I don't want to be in it. I was kind of told I have to watch certain things happen, but in the interim, there's words you need to check out. FEMA camps. New World Order. All right. The home base in the Ozarks. See if you can find anything on that. Now, the biggest army base is in Australia. It's in the upper part, right side of Australia. They look like snowballs where you can see it from the sky. All right. I have friends in Australia, but it's owned by Britain and the United States. You don't hear a word. They don't mention that ever. Because what's going on in the alien world, what they trade for is another thing. We'll get into that in another day, a different day. But, you know, people can deal with this much truth. Give them this much, that's lies. Because they don't want to accept the truth, and everybody goes, oh, I know what I know. You know nothing. Tell me the day you die, what happens? Where do you go? Where's your body go? Where's soul go? Where's this, that, and the other thing? Go back into the ground. That's, yeah, your body does. But where's what you really are go? All those kind of things. Buddha has his own teaching. The Muslims have theirs. The Christians have theirs. And they all fall short of the truth. Truth is, you're a soul. Jesus said many important things that the human race could not understand and still don't. Give your life to God, you'll have eternal life. What does that mean? Oh, I do everything in the name of God. Do you go out and smoke, drink, beat people up? What's your excuse for doing what God? Do you know what God wants you to do? You have a clue? Well, I pray for the world. Praying for other things? You're here for yourself. You came in by yourself, and you're going to go out by yourself. You're not taking your mom, your dad, your children, or anybody else with you. I mean, that's a possibility. A car crash, you could all go. But again, what do you think happens when you go to your so-called place called heaven? All these little things. I'm going to go into detail about a lot of these stuff one at a time. The show of my new series, all right, Beyond the Truth, all right. I put a new book out. The title, so that that top part from the beginning of the show, well, it's the true understanding the true Jesus is underneath it, but I couldn't fit it in there. But this will be my show, and I will be putting so much information out, whether you're ready for it, want it, or not. You'll determine it, because if you listen to the show, you'll hear it. Or your truth. Well, the Bible, or the Quran, or the Quran. I mean, really, he was taught by who? Gabriel? Gabriel wasn't a teacher. He's an angel. There's how many known angels? Basically, there's 9 mentioned in the Bible, and a lot of unknown angels. And in Revelation, John mentions hundreds of angels. Well, everybody has to work with Michael and Gabriel. Why is that? Like they're the 2 most spiritual angels? Lucifer's an angel, people. That's how ignorant the world is. Lucifer fell with the other angels to the astral plane. All right? He didn't come down here. Satan is here. God put Satan here for a reason. Satan's not the evil person you think he is, because he gives everybody what they want. You want money? Money is the root to all evil. He'll give anybody money that wants to search and work hard for money. People, do you realize your programs in your brain are twisted? Well, you don't want to hear that. Oh, no, I know what. I had an experience. One experience doesn't make you God realized. All right? And second of all, and let's see what time it is. I'm going to go into this real fast. When people go, they had a death experience. Your death experiences, I had 5. I spent years out of my body, but I had 5 death experiences as well. So I listen to every one person that speaks about it. Guess what? They're all the same. Well, I stand in... Give me a second. We got contamination in our air so bad. I could walk around with them there, but like I said, I don't want to live forever. So here's the thing, people. I've been here a long time. I've been in Hawaii almost 24 years. And even that's amazing. I mean, when I was a little kid, when I saw Elvis Presley in Hawaii, I wanted to go to Hawaii. I was a caregiver for a year and a couple months of a couple. One had dementia and one had Parkinson's, and I was taking care of them 24 hours, 7 days a week. It was hard, but I knew they were dying, and I said, I got to go somewhere. And I decided to come to Hawaii and swim with dolphins. I'm going to go into dolphins one day, because that's the most incredible story with our government even. All right? But do you want the truth? Do you want the truth why the United States doesn't attack Japan when they come into the United States illegally, taking our fish and killing the whales? And the Sea Shepherd was out, the only one protecting the whales, trying to. And they arrested the one multi-millionaire who had $1 million ship, and he was trying to block the Japanese boat, and they plowed into him, and they put him in jail. A little teeny boat. You know, people, okay, I'm going to keep going, but realize this is all being squished together. 9/11 happened. You know why? No, you don't. Nobody knows. Somebody does, but we don't. Putin told Trump on Russian TV to tell the world what really happened at 9/11. He also said, I will tell them if you don't. But he still didn't tell the world what really happened either. But people lie every which way. He also told Trump to tell the world what they're doing with aliens. And that's a fact. All right? I heard it. My friend was translating it because he was from Russia. He was translating it to me as he was speaking it on TV. All right? What Putin says, he says, I care about my country only. He wants global warming. And maybe somewhere that's why Trump says, oh, global warming doesn't matter. But Trump is against anybody trying to stop it or deal with it or anything else. But Putin said, well, I want to grow longer time. I want longer time. I don't want freezing weather all the time. But see, there's truth behind everything a person does. Whether it fits into truth of a good reason or a bad. We want to believe things that make us feel good. Most people do. I don't. Nothing I know on this planet is going to make me feel good right now. Trump's destroying it. Countries are fighting. I mean, we're in trouble. All I can worry about is my little guy. Is he here? What did he leave? And another person. I'm not going to worry about the rest of the world because we could lose everything with Mr. Rumpo. And we could be out on the street. We're already, if I had the money, we would have moved to another country already. People, be prepared with what's going to happen. Because the lies are being fed, and even if Trump does get taken out, government is set up for rich people. Think about that. Guns were created for a reason, allowed for people to have them. And we should not have guns on the street anywhere. I know one island, they only were allowed to carry clubs, the police. Imagine that. Realize if every gun, if you were caught with a gun and got 25 years or more, you would think about walking the street with a gun. It would save, guess what? The other part of guns, 60% of the people shot with a gun is a person committing suicide. We want to protect people? Get a gun out of their hand. You know, truth is there. Pull up it. AI is the most ignorant thing because it's only programmed by ignorant people. Ask it what God is. Ask it what Jesus was. Ask it anything. Ask it about Jesse Ventura. I mean, it'll expose, it'll say what he did. He was in government. He was in the Army and Marines. He actually was a wrestler. So again, people, you want the truth about people? You want to know the truth about Jesus? You can't get it. You're not with him. I was. And I say that on my soul, on God, and everything else in reality. All right. I was a female in that lifetime. But that's my book. That's my new book that's coming out right now. That title you see at the cover of this show. But people, we're running out of time. The whole world could be destroyed, which just means all these people on this planet, 8 billion people, will have to reincarnate somewhere else on a new planet, starting all over. And then the aliens, if they don't take out the aliens with them as well, it'll start over basically the same way. It's hard to get out of this realm, the physical world. Science is based on physical reality, not the astral reality, mental reality, causal and etheric, all those kind of levels. No, it doesn't. Our formulas, our patterns, our combinations, well, everything is a number. Everything's this, everything. No, it's not. And when you become spiritually aware, it's different. All right. I was a high priest at 16. There's 32 psychic abilities. I know if you pull them up, you can get 120, 130, dropping bones and throwing leaves and tea bags and all that. But I'm talking about psychic abilities. Deja vu, clairvoyance, audio, and things like that. Psychic abilities as far as levitation and all. I was a magician, a stage magician as well. And the Christians thought I was a black magician and things like that. You know, People don't know how to go beyond what they see. Oh, I'm going to do magic for you. Oh, no, you're a demon. I can go into stories about that, but that'll be when I talk about that specifically. Getting back to where we're going. Where do you think you're going? What do you think you're going to accomplish? You're going to save the world? Musk thinks he's going to save the world. Well, what? Space cars flying around on the street up in the air and stuff? Put a drunk up in a plane, car plane, flying over your house. I wouldn't want that. All these little things that are going to make the world better, we're not spiritually evolved enough to do it. We can't take care of each other. Now, I'm going to go a little bit further. Trumpo is getting all these people out of the country. They're murderers, drug dealers, and rapists, right? Well, I guess he never realized who and what he was himself. Then again, pull up the file of rape and sexual abuse and child abuse. 80% is white people, Spanish people that live here, that are citizens. All right. I stayed with a medicine woman for almost 28 years. And basically, every workshop she ever did, whether there was 20 people there or 100 people there, usually 99% women, would be her opening statement. And it goes, before we go any further, I want everybody in this audience to tell the truth, be honest. Were they ever abused? There wasn't one workshop I ever went to, no matter what the number was, that they all didn't raise their hand. I was abused too, so basically, guess what? But truthfully, now, Trumpo, Mr. Trumpo, pull up the file that I'm dealing with right now with the Boy Scouts. Look at the number of child abuse in the Boy Scouts alone. I think they ended up getting, I'm not even going to say the number, and how many people. It's disgustingly, ridiculously horrible. All right? There weren't people from other countries and bad people, criminals and stuff. We're talking about scoutmasters, all right, that were cops or were this, that, and the other thing. My mother was a den mother for the Scouts. And she never helped me in a lot of things, including the abuses that went down. People, you know, in relationships, when a girl loses a lady girl loses a husband, and she gets a boyfriend, and she wants a boyfriend, and she has two girls, even if she knows that the boyfriend's doing things to the little kids, younger girls, they don't report it. They don't want to lose the only thing that they have, the only chances of thinking of the way they get money and get a home and survive. That's what needs to be cured. The sickness in here for people, not out there, not around the country, not anybody, in here. How do you make a person respect life? How do you make a person respect others? You don't. All right, 100,000 years ago, when Atlantis was here, was the Garden of Eden. All right. We had 32 psychic abilities. You didn't even have to talk. You couldn't think without people seeing it or hearing it. You wouldn't do things because you know everybody could hear it and see it and feel it. We didn't kill. They didn't eat animals. Nobody was raped. Nobody was, any of those things didn't exist. We weren't worrying about making weapons or any of that. Aliens came down, destroyed Atlantis, reprogrammed the people that were here to kill, sacrifice, all right? All those things. And it wasn't about gold. I mean, all you hear in the UFO world, they came here to mine gold. Aliens can make gold. They didn't come here to mine it. Realize all these kings and pharaohs that had billions of piles of gold and things like that, they could have just taken it if they needed gold that bad, but they didn't. But the UFO people have to come up with whatever this twisted brain can push out. I'm sorry, people. This is as real as it's going to get anywhere that I know on this planet to deal with the truth. The truth is, why are you here? The first truth, You need to learn. Second of all, the second truth is, how do you live by that truth? It's hard. Hard living in hell and trying to be a good person. And what is a good person? I mean, I'm not going to go into Jesus and all his statements and stuff, but he was different. He wasn't what people assume he was, and he's not coming back. If I killed you today, would you come back tomorrow and be killed again? Why? There's so many religions. There's over 2,000 religions on this planet. The Christians are 2.6 billion. Muslims are 2.4 billion. The Hindu is 1.12 billion. So it's over 55%, 60% of the planet. 3 religions. All right. Now, what about all those other thousands of people that claim to be in a specific religion and everything else? The religions that are there, what do they believe in? Well, there's only one truth. One truth. There's not 100. It's not you have a perception of a truth. All right. What is this? An apple? A peach? A potato? A car? What is it? You give it a name. And that's what we have to accept what this is. So our definition of that word equals what this is. See what it says? But what I'm saying is, we're programmed by words. And when Jesus was alive, people did not have all these words we have today. Second of all, they had multiple gods. So when Jesus tried to say God as a singular, how would you say that to a person? He used the word father because everybody had a father, whether they knew him or not. They all had a father. So, and they said, well, when he would say, what father would not give to his son everything, and all those kind of phrases, but it was for people that could not understand a real concept of a real God. And I haven't met a person that can. I was in a religion called Eckankar. Their perception of God's one of the few next to, there's another religion that I will not say, but they get closer to the idea of God and the realms that God created for us. When Jesus said, in my Father's mansion there's many rooms, what was he talking about? The bathroom, the kitchen, the bedroom, dining room? People, see, they didn't have those words. And how does Jesus explain to these people that are farmers, fishermen, shoemakers? I mean, what do they know about anything? How do I explain about a God creating? Oh, wow. And then about death, about dying and not really dying. Jesus had to die. If Jesus didn't die, he wouldn't have been able to prove to his own disciples what it meant. That's going to be another specific whole show. All these things, that could be a couple of shows. But again, people, you want the truth? Email me. All right, I'm just going to stick it there right now so that you have it. Or I'm going to give you 2. You know, I can't deal with liars. I know when I was doing my show, Tina, her first name, person I work with, said, "Oh, let's bring people on." I can't deal talking to a liar. To somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. All right? It's not in my character. I'm not going to cater to nobody that has no truth. Death is the truth. You're going to die. And right now, you're not going to live past 125. And if you do, you'd be pretty stupid because you would see all your family die. Many of them, and all those kind of things. And you'll be getting older. Your body, no matter what kind of vitamins and stuff they tell you you're going to take to be 40 years younger and stuff. So what? Why do you want to stay here so bad? What's so great? Sex? Swimming? Flying? What? What do you do that's so important that can beat what soul can do when you're out of your body? Well, if you didn't experience, there's no clue of the difference. But the second most important thing you can learn on this planet is how to leave your body, not with drugs. All right? And where you can go and what you got to meet when you leave your body and all those kind of things. What a real angel is and what all those kind of things. But if not, you'll deal with war, poisoning, contamination. All right? Now, I'm going to go into a lot of the topics which I didn't touch today. All right? I mean, ghosts, spirits, demons, entities, abduction. All right? Chemical warfare. All those things, what they mean to us. And they're all dangerous. Unless you have a spiritual connection and work on that, you're not going to understand much important truth. I mean, if Trump's taken out tomorrow and we got the other fool running the country, how bright is he? I mean, we got people that are how old in Congress? They don't know anything about the truth about aliens, weapons. I mean, all those kind of things. Underground cities. Do they know any of those words? No. They probably think it's all fantasy. They have no clue. We need people with a young, growing mind, willing to look and search out truth, experience it, understand it. You can't tell the truth if you don't know it or experience it. People, all right, do me a favor. If you get to watch this show, send this link to everybody you know, good or bad, even the people you hate. You might send it to the people you hate even more. But this is about moving forward as a soul, not as a body. Money is not going to help you. Rich people will never learn that. Now, Christian, all right, but Jesus was the most spiritual person to walk this planet. And he said, and this is what I tell every rich person when I'm on their site, Musk, even Trump, you name it. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. Money's evil. So is fame. Power takes your attention off of soul and why you're really here. This makes you want to stay here longer, which Satan's desire is. All right, people. Hope you got something out of today. If you didn't, I'm sorry. If you want to ask me questions, there's my 2 email addresses, hawksblood1@aol.com or howtoseegod@aol.com as well, either one. So take your pick. If you got something out of it, cool. If not, I'm sorry. Tell me what you want to hear, what you think you want to hear, or what you think you know that you really don't know. Why do you got to die? Why not just stay here forever? Well, that's not what soul's about. It doesn't need this body. And it has to learn that. All right. Till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. I've been everything in my life. A high priest. I've been a magician, stage magician as well. All right. I danced all around the United States, got to be with many elders across the United States. And the truth about Native nations and people and what went down, that's even horrible inside our own country, and nobody respects that. Last statement, sorry, I keep going. Biden, his last week, put a video up online, what we did, parts of the things that we did to the Native people. Not we, sorry, people did to Native people. Listen to it. It's still online. All right. He explains how children and women were slaves. Children were put in prison camps until the 20s. All right. But the truth's there, but you're not going to hear it in most places. Try to pull up the truth about Native people online. Right now, the Native people are fighting because they're harassing the Native people as well. They live here. They're born here, and they didn't come from another country, and they're not evil. So again, for that to happen, it's crazy ridiculous. Till next time, I don't know how many days apart I'm going to be doing my shows, but I'm going to do at least one a week. I'm going to try to do at least two as soon as I get organized. Today was a crazy day for me. But till next time, peace, love, compassion. Whatever you want in your life, don't stop until you get it. Make sure it's what you really need. Till next time.